Hello and welcome to today's lesson on using the if formula or if statements. I'm going to combine it with two other little functions as well, so and or, and I'll explain why and the uses of those different elements. So I've got some data here. So I've got staff, name, salary, and whether they have a car or not. So yes, he has a car. No, he doesn't have a car. Let's just say I have an email through and they're like, okay, I need to know the people who have a salary over 30k. Yeah, they give you three criteria. I want to know salary above 30k. I want to know who has a salary above 30,000, or does someone have a car? And then finally, I want to know are there people who earn above 30k and has a car? So let's look at the first bit first, which is the if statement by itself. So equals if, and again Excel gives a pointer, so it checks whether a condition is met, and if it's true it returns one value, if it's false it gives another one. So remember to start the formula if open bracket. So now it says logical test. So I've already said what the test is, which is salary above 30,000. So I click here and the test is if it's greater than, and so to do a greater than, it's sort of the bottom right of the keyboard. It's that open-ended narrow, I'm sure you remember from school. So if C2, and if you sort of say it, not allowed in the office, but if you say it quietly in your head, if C2 is greater than 30,000, I'm going to hit comma. It's going to ask me what do I want to show if that condition is satisfied. So if C2 is more than 30,000, let's just say I wanted to say yes. So put in speech marks, type in yes. If that condition isn't satisfied, so in other words, if the salary isn't over 30,000, say no. So let's just go through that again. So if I open it up, so here's my test then, the logical test. So I want to say if that salary is greater than, I could say is less than 30,000, but I want to do is greater than 30,000. And if that is satisfied, so just think of the logic of the language. If it's true, then give me yes. If it's false, give me no. So enter. So 40,000 is above 30,000, so correctly it shows yes. Now if I drag that down, so he is an interesting one. So he is on 30,000, but it's not above 30,000. So I could change that and go, if it's equal to or greater than 30,000. Oops, did that wrong way around. So if it's greater than or equal, but I was specifically told the salary has to be above 30,000. So because he's 30,000, he's not included. What about if you're asked, well, tell me if someone has a salary above 30,000 or they have a car? So this, we're going to use a bit of a nested formula. So we're going to go if again, and now the logical test to say whether we want like different conditions looked at, we start another one. So we then type in or. So it checks whether any of the arguments are true. So now this allows me to put several logical tests in rather than just the one I did in the first example. So the logical test here is salary above 30,000. So we've done that already. So this is the logical thing. So if it's above 30, then when I hit comma, this is going to allow me to type in another condition. So if C2 is greater than 30,000, or this, so car equals yes. So this should be in speech marks, yes. So that's it. I could go on and on and on, if there were other criteria, but I've just been told is the salary above 30,000 or do they have a car? Close bracket. So I've now set up my logical test. So my test is if I open up the or, which allows me to put different conditions in. So if C2 is above 30,000 or D2 equals yes, then, so you notice the bold, so if that is true, if either of the conditions are met, yes, oops, or if the salary isn't or they don't have a car, then give me no. So we already know it's going to be 40,000, yes. So this person didn't show up because obviously his salary is 28,000 there, but he does show up here because he has a car. So one of the conditions has been satisfied, and so it returns yes. Now what about if I want to know, do they have a salary above £30,000 and has a car? So very similar to the or situation, but when I open up the if formula, instead of typing or, I press and so this checks whether all arguments are true. So with or, it just said checked whether any of the arguments are true. So all these conditions now have to be satisfied. So salary above 30,000, let's do that one first. So that's the first logical test. So C2 greater than 30,000. And then the second one is that equals yes. So they if it's 30,000 and they have a car, then say yes. Otherwise say no. So if it's not satisfied, if the test isn't satisfied, no. Enter. So click or drag it down. So yeah, let's just have a quick look at some of these results. So let's look at Chad Murray. So yeah, above 30,000. He's covered here because his salary is above 30,000. But no, he doesn't have a car, so his salary isn't above 30,000 and has a car, so he doesn't turn up there. So, a bit of a trivial example, but hopefully just explains the concept of how to incorporate different tests into your if statement, and whether you want just some of the stuff satisfied, which is where you'd use or, well, you'd use any of it, or you want every condition satisfied, which is where you'd use and. So you may have some data already that you could test on, or just make up your own little data sets, and in some ways that's the way to really just think about the concept, because as soon as you've got the concept drilled into your mind, it's dead easy then to apply to bigger data sets. Just more data, but exactly the same function. So I've got a load of numbers here. If that is, let's do less than 5, then say yes. If it isn't less than 5, so you know the opposite if it's more than 5, say no. So obviously they will show yes, but once it hits 5 and above, no. So you know, really trivial. Have a play around with the so that's, remember, less than or equal to 5. You can get rid of that equals. And yeah, just have a play, become familiar, and soon it'll become like breathing. Dead easy. So hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching and listening, and if it's been helpful, leave a comment. And I will show in another tutorial just one step further how to use count ifs. So once I put that video up, I'll put a link in the description. Thank you.